Now, welcome to Worldchefs podcast. I'm your host, Ragnar Fredriksson, and you're listening to World on a Plate. For the month of July at Worldchefs, we're talking about culinary innovation and industry trends. So I'm quite excited to continue these discussions on today's episode with a special guest who is Stephen Losee. Stephen has spent almost 30 years as a chef working in diverse range of food industry sectors that has enabled him to experience, 8 international relocations and graduated from a bachelor's degree in food and beverage from Johnson and Wales, earned the title of Worldchefs Certified Master Chef in addition to CEC and CCA at the American Culinary Federation. Today, Chef Stephen is a senior culinary product developer on the global innovation team of Aviko, based in the Netherlands these days. So let's get started, Stephen. So welcome to the show and thank you for joining us. How are things in the Netherlands these days?
Yeah, fantastic. We've certainly had some wonderful weather the last couple weeks, but now, of course, things are back to normal in the Netherlands, so it's cold and rainy. But listen, thanks for having me. Really happy to join the podcast and kind of have a nice chat with you and tell a little bit of a story from a chef's perspective on what we do at Avico. So
Well,
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. It's great to have you here. And just to kick things off a little bit, can you tell us about your culinary journey? So, how did you get started in the industry, and what led you to become a chef and a master chef, and where you are today with Avico?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So, really, I began like my journey, just like everyone else, working as a dishwasher. I worked
Yeah.
as a dishwasher in a family-owned Greek restaurant when I was 15 years old, and then I went to culinary school after that. And after culinary school, I took the plunge, and I was living in America at the time. I took the plunge, and I moved to London uh, to work at the Savoy. So a lot of chefs, as you know, you go to London, the Savoy is kind of a landing pad. It's one of a lot of chefs have been through those kitchens there. But after a year at the Savoy, I spent the next 10 years in the UK, working, within restaurants and hotels. And I worked at three different Hiltons, in the UK. And after almost coming up to 10 years living and working in the UK, I finished my time in the UK. I was a development chef for Chartwells, which is the education sector of Compass Group in the UK. After that, I made an international transfer with Compass Group UK to the US, and I worked as a regional executive chef for Compass US on the East Coast side of the US. Um, and then after I think it was probably 3, 4 years, I moved to Sodexo, and I was fortunate enough to lead the culinary team at the College of William and Mary, which is in Williamsburg, Virginia, where it's an Ivy League university, and we served over 10,000 meals a day there. And we had a staff of almost 250 cooks there. So it was a massive operation. And that was my last job. I was a director of culinary there. That was my last job in the US because then I transferred again back to the UK with Sodexo. And I was fortunate enough to work on the food platform team within the Sodexo UK national team. And I worked as a senior executive development chef, and I overlooked culinary innovation. So that was a fantastic position, a great team there. Then slowly things, decided to move on, and I went back into operations, and I actually was an executive, went back to being an executive chef in a resort. And that was a resort that was 1 hour south of Munich in Germany. So I left the UK, went to Germany, lived in the Bavarian mountains for 3 years during COVID, which wasn't the worst place to be actually during that time. But it was really during COVID that I decided to continue my education. So I went back to school, enrolled in Johnson and Wales, and I achieved my degree. In food and beverage entrepreneurship online, which was a really fantastic experience. And it also gave me time to work on and achieve my MasterChef certification through Worldchefs. So then after COVID started, kind of going away and decided it was probably 3.5 years or so again, I decided to move on. But I wanted to utilize my culinary experience in that manufacturing world so I could kind of bridge the world of culinary with large scale innovations. And I was lucky enough to be in touch and got connected with Willem Feiten, who's the Global Innovation Director at Aviko. And as they say, uh, the rest is history.
Rest is history. Absolutely. And so, so traveling from the US, UK, the Germany, Netherlands, and how has that international experience shaped your approach to the product development at Avico?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say really anybody that moves abroad and works in kitchens on through Europe and on a global level, I'd say for me, moving abroad gave me, it gives you really an open perspective, right? So you learn to become very adaptable. You gain a deeper understanding of diversity, certainly, cultures, and of course, food, right? You learn a lot of different things about food depending on where you are. You meet a lot of people. You meet a lot of people along the way. So this really prepares you to get along with others. You get to work with so many different people, and you learn to work really well with other people quickly. And you have really it broadens your mind, right? And so as a chef, you always want to drive quality and creativity, but at the same time, now I need to ensure that product development is not only innovative, but it's practical and appealing for chefs.
Mm, mm.
So, my experience has really enabled me to work with Aviko, but from a chef's perspective, I'm really lucky in that sense, and it's to reinforce Aviko's commitment to quality and service from that farm to fork process.
Yeah, I mean, and probably now more than ever, it's essential to have that openness and respond to food trends in different countries where you work internationally, globally, in order to stay competitive. So maybe you can explain. So how do you stay on top of consumer demands, and how does Avico respond to these trends?
Yeah, yeah. So, Aviko stays ahead of consumer demands and trends through well, it's a multi-layered, data-driven approach that combines sort of say market intelligence, industry collaboration. That's really important,
Yeah,
and really advanced digital tools. There's a lot of stuff out there. I mean, for example, one thing that we do is some of our regional teams on a global level, they publish a comprehensive food trends report each year. And that's really great because it gathers insights from, leading industry experts, chefs, and operators within that specific country, and it ties it back to Avico. So, it really the report analyzes, market shifts, flavor trends, consumer behaviors within the industry, and it offers practical guidance for chefs and food service businesses to kind of adapt their menus and strategies based on what's going on, right? So, for example, the 2025 report includes expert analysis, predictions, just to ensure that Abico and all of our partners and everyone around the globe are prepared sort of for the next step on what's happening with food and trends and stuff. So Avico, we also leverage advanced platforms to streamline product data management, monitor competitive assortments, and track consumer buying behaviors across
right.
over 100 markets. So it enables us to access up-to-date information on, things like ingredients, packaging, and regional requirements, right? So ensuring that the product offerings remain, what we make remains relevant and compliant.
Mm, mm.
We also The other thing to add is we also work very closely with chefs, right? Because it really, closely with chefs to gain like the first hand of what's driving the consumer spending and menu innovations because chefs, they're in it every day and they know. So this approach really, identifies emerging trends early, and it allows us to kind of within our side kind of tailor our product development in the right direction.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think you organize gathering and meetings with chefs to sort of have a a casual relationship to get feedback and
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. That and we have our global Aviko has a global chefs council as well. So we have around 50 chefs on our council that are all volunteers, and these chefs are based all over the world, and we're able to kind of pick up the phone anytime we need some advice or we need help with something, and we've got a full team of really fantastic chefs that are there for us. Yeah.
yeah, because I guess it's one thing is to collect all this information, but also to make it into a product and commercialize a product. There's a lot of processing and thought process that goes
Yeah.
behind. So so tasting and how I mean, how does it compare developing and testing new products at Avico as in opposed to creating a new dish in a professional kitchen? How does your tasting day or your like innovation day look like?
Yeah. Okay. So it's slightly difficult to explain, but I'll give it a try. So Avico's development and testing process, it's highly structured, right? It's data driven, like we talked about before, and it's very collaborative. So there's a lot of people involved. Um, Distinct from, for example, but still parallel to the creative process in a professional kitchen.
Mm,
So
mm,
while both kind of Abico and the kitchens out there really rely on things like experimentation, testing, refinement. I suppose from a manufacturing standpoint, our process is characterized by the scale, really, because we're talking about massive production here. But
mm,
it's use of advanced digital tools also that kind of is the more the difference, and rigorous sort of compliance, right, with international standards. For example, uh, most kitchens, rely on the chef or the executive chef to map out the menus, production requirements, any kind of documentation. That's the chef's job, right? But within manufacturing, the companies we have like at Avico, we have very similar requirements, but it's on a massive, much larger scale.
mm,
So a lot more people involved. There's complex computerized systems that are used in the whole process, and it's more sort of formal quality control stuff.
mm.
Same but different, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. Mm. I mean, you work on, as I mentioned, a huge market, international market, and you have a specific branding and positioning in that market to support that success. Well, can you tell me more about, your brand positioning as Avico and well, is sustainability increasingly important for chefs' choices or consumer choices? What is your take on that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, let's start with marketing and branding because that's pretty huge. So that's a topic in itself. I mean, the marketing and branding piece are fundamental drivers of any kind of product success, especially in today's crazy, crowded, competitive markets, right? It's a really competitive market out there. Um, but at Abaco, from an innovation perspective, we see positioning as kind of that it's as the bridge, it's the gap between a great product and real market impact. So positioning helps Avico products stand out by clearly sort of communicating what makes them unique compared to competitors. It allows us to I suppose, deeply understand and address the specific needs, preferences, any kind of pain points of our target audience. Um, by tailoring the sort of branding and messaging, we really ensure that our innovations are, well, relevant and appealing to those who most likely would benefit from buying it, right? Um, it's about answering the key consumer questions. Why should we choose Avico?
Yeah.
What problem does this product solve for me better than, say, other stuff?
Because if you know, you look at Aviko, and for those who might check out your website, you would say, well, Aviko is the potato company. But we found out that when we were together at the Olympics in Germany, that you're much more than the potato company. You have a lot of innovative solutions, and you know, maybe you want to sort of tell me more about how you collaborate with the chefs and bring solutions, and what sort of you have on your plate these days.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Avico is, yes, we are certainly a potato company, um, but we also have a really fantastic range of snacks. So all our snacks, most of our snacks are developed in one of our factories in collaboration with Eurofritz in Spain. And we have an absolutely phenomenal team, R&D team there that helps us to create some of these snacks that are just off the charts. I mean, they're really, really good, right? Um, but yeah, I mean, look, I just wanted to go really back to one thing, and that is, I just want to put in people's mind when it comes to branding and marketing. If you think of, say, Apple or Coke as an example, right? Um, their consistent brand positioning around innovation, simplicity, and even design, really, if you think about it, how it's changed over the last even 100 years, 50 years, it allows them to command like loyalty, premium pricing, even when there's like so much other competition going on in the market.
Mm, mm.
And I would say at Avico, our positioning really ensures that each product is not just innovative, like we've just talked about, but it's meaningful and it has a story and it's different and relevant to what our customers need in their lives, right? So
Mm.
that's just something I wanted to mention because it's quite important. People like stories and they like things that are has really real meaning behind it. And I think that Avico's doing a good job of providing that because we've got a great story.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
again, going back to the sustainability piece that you asked about, um, I can explain a little bit about what we're doing if you like. I mean that the sustainability piece really with Avico is really a core element of our, again, our brand positioning and strategy, because it's reflecting on growing, consumer demand for, well, what everybody wants is responsible and future food choices. Um, our current sustainability initiatives are really structured on three pillars, and that is uh, proud farmers, healthy earth, and happy people, right? So some of our sustainability initiatives are focused on like future-proof farming, where we provide technical and financial support to help farmers transition from, to more sustainable methods. Avico also, with our partners, we have ambitious CO2 emission reductions and resource efficiencies. So for example, we're committed to using 100% of the potato because this minimizes food waste and reducing water consumption through the whole recycling process. So if you think about making fries, right?
mm,
Because the potato actually is pushed through knives on the
right.
in the factory. It's but through with water. So when the potato goes through these knives, it's it goes out and then it gets sorted within the assembly line because if you're a customer, if you're a chef and you buy our super long fries, you expect the fries to be long. well, sometimes potatoes are small in different sizes. So those potato sizes get um, sorted by size and weight and everything else. But let's say size. And whatever is left that, you know, isn't good enough for the fries that you want to buy, all those potato pieces get used in other things, whether it's our mash, flakes, it gets used in other things. So it totally, we use 100% of the potato. We also, and I won't get into it because it gets quite complicated, but then we also use the starch of the potatoes. So the starch is also used for a load of other things, like, for example,
Vodka making or
cheese. 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 Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible what you can do with stuff nowadays, really, huh? Um,
so this innovation. So how is that at Aviko supported by collaboration and partnerships with other industry partners or chefs? And you talked about your chef group of chefs who you how does that collaboration, the dynamic of that collaboration?
yeah, yeah, that's a great question. Okay, so you know, innovation at Aviko is it's really strongly supported and accelerated to some degree through a wide range of collaborations and partnerships across the industry. Um, the partnerships span really, if you think about the big picture, it spans the entire value chain, right? From agricultural producers and technic IT providers to chefs, logistic experts, digital service platforms. I mean, it gets really complicated because it's quite a, it's quite a complex process from potatoes coming out of the ground all the way through to chefs dropping it in the fryer, right? There's a lot that happens in between. However, uh, we have two key partnerships that I want to mention because it really supports our innovation efforts, right? And the first one is our partnership with you guys, with Worldchefs.
Excellent.
This has brought Avico global brand awareness and exposure in many different ways, right? It's the industry influence and it's the social impact within the global culinary committee, right? The community. It's just a fantastic platform. So we really appreciate and value our partnership with World Chefs. And the second partnership is a little bit about what I mentioned earlier, and that's our Avico Global Chef Council. So we have a group of over 50 chefs from around the world on a global platform that support our innovation initiatives. So these chefs provide us with uh, invaluable insights into every aspect of new product development. So we're really extremely proud to partner with these chefs. But both partnerships really allow us to learn directly from chefs worldwide and integrate sort of their culinary insights into the entire innovation process. And it really it's a way to better understand the needs of what chefs need, right, from us. And so such partnerships really inspire massive creativity and it ensures that the new products that we create are both relevant and appealing to the food service market and chefs as a whole, really. Yeah.
So you must have a lot of information to distill and to sort of grasp what is happening in the industry in the market. So even for our chefs listening who want new fresh ideas to their menus, and do you have any advice and any sort of any concept of innovation that is you see happening?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so for chefs looking to bring fresh ideas and into the menus and stuff, I mean, look, concept innovation, I think, concept innovation thrives on sort of like a blend of creativity, uh, knowing what's going on in the market, market awareness, and practicality, practical execution. So I'd say stay curious, keep yourself really informed on trends. Just read about it, watch it on TV, read magazines. Um, Prioritize sustainability because it's not going anywhere. So, I mean, really think about that with everything that you do. We do, and I know a lot of chefs do that as well. It's important for the future. And really experiment with global flavors. I find it insightful to sort of consider. What I do is I find it really insightful to consider building menu themes around a single ingredient or a product. So preparing it, but preparing that one thing in multiple different ways. So a good example could be uh, loaded fries, right? I find it. I find that loaded fries are really an innovative and clever menu addition because it gives your customers the feeling of indulgence, comfort, depending on what you're putting with the fries. But it brings also a high profitability um, that it's going to be shared on social media platforms because it's quite a popular thing, right? And the dish is really versatile and it can be changed very quickly. So not only are loaded fries on trend, but the operational efficiencies from a chef's point is it's profitable. Um, and this particular menu offer brings really a massive value for customers, but also your bottom line. So if you're clever with your menu engineering, you're cross-utilizing other menu ingredients to create your loaded fries concept, and it doesn't add additional labor to prep. So the chefs will love you because you're not adding more work to them, right? However, it can be sold for a much higher price than
Right.
just a side of fries. You know, you can double or triple the price of a loaded fries concept using stuff already that's there and prepped out on your menus, bringing it together and offering your customers something that makes them happy and makes you loads of money.
That's exciting. Yeah. So basically, instead of becoming a side dish, it becomes a main dish and just
Main dish, sharing platters, yeah,
having
all sorts
factors
of stuff. Yeah,
just with
yeah,
a little bit of adding on top.
certainly. Yeah.
No, that's amazing. Thank you for that insight. And I don't know if there are any other trends or opportunities that you are most excited about these days, or what is happening. Like, what are you working on these days at Aviko? Anything you want to share? Then we'll be
Yeah.
happy to take.
Yeah. Okay. I'd say, we're really excited about continuing to blend that sort of, like we said before, sustainability, global flavors, chef-driven creativity, to deliver the products that really not only meet, but exceed customer and consumer needs, by helping you and chefs, our partners, stay competitive. So we're providing the market with ways to stay more competitive and relevant in a market that's just rapidly evolving, right? It's a rapidly evolving food landscape. It always has been, but especially now, it's just pretty crazy. But I'm always excited to experience. For me personally, I'm always happy to see new creative street food places. I think that's fantastic. You know, anywhere you go in the world, and you go to, if you go to London, uh, Italy, everywhere you go, the Netherlands, check out the street food places. I mean, that's some of the best stuff that you can get. I'm really, at the moment, one thing I'm really enjoying is the trend it's that culinary roots and heritage trend. So it's taken something that is nostalgic for, you know, a certain culture or country,
Mm,
taken that like fish and chips in the UK, stamppot in the Netherlands, tacos in America, whatever it is, right? Taking that that stuff that that you've grown up with, that kind of gives you that warm and cozy comfort feeling, right? That ratatouille experience,
mm,
but taking those classic things and kind of twisting them around, where chefs are focusing on authentic cultural dishes, but kind of reimagining it with modern twists. I think that's really cool. I think it's on trend at the moment. It's happening. You're seeing it everywhere. But it's fun. It's exciting. People like it. It's great, right?
mm.
But lastly, I also like the functional and health driven food concepts that support health and wellness. I think that's also something that's more creeping up. It's been around, but it's coming more and more and more. A lot of products are coming out with focus on health and wellness, and it's something to look at because it's not going away. It's going to stick around.
Absolutely. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Stephen, for sharing all that. And I don't know if our listeners wanted to learn more about what solutions, innovations you have. Where can they, are there any spaces where they can follow you? You're on so
Yeah, certainly. Yep. So the first thing is check out our website, avico.nl. We also have a food service website, so avicofoodservice.nl. And additionally, connect with me on LinkedIn. Um, you know, get on my profile, Stephen Losee, get on there, click connect. I will connect with you. And, I always provide quite valuable resources on products. From a chef's perspective, I highlight chefs, I do all sorts of things. So please connect with me on LinkedIn, and certainly you can get a full range of what Avico is up to, and we'll keep you connected.
excellent. Thank you, Stephen. So we will put all that data on our podcast website so people can find it more easily. So all the links are there, and people can connect with you and stay informed. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
fantastic. Yeah,
Great.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
So thank you, Stephen. Thank you for
Yeah,
joining us, and thank you for all the collaboration we had, and the partnership is really valuable, and what you bring to the industry is really helpful for our members. So we appreciate that very much,
great.
and all the support in what we're doing in Worldchefs. So again, thank you for coming on the podcast. All the best to your team,
Yeah, fantastic.
Dylan,
Thank you very
and
much.
all
Yeah,
the
thanks for
guys.
having us.
Uh,
See you in the Congress.
See you at the Congress, and that's
Yeah, right.
remind me. So thank you everybody for listening, and don't forget that we have a special deal on the Congress. We have an early bird rate. You save €200 for a full package deal. It's going to be 4 days of excitement. Actually, those who are golfers can come the day before Congress. We're going to have the first ever World Chef golf tournament, and we're talking about one of the best golf courses in the world. So for those
Fantastic.
who are into that, I'm
Yeah,
going to try out myself. But otherwise, it's 4 days of a great Congress program with keynote speakers and demos and panel discussions. We have special program for the young chefs if you're under 25, very special rate where you have actually more for less. And we are probably one of the only associations who actually do more for the young chefs for less money. And a lot of the old chefs actually are trying to sneak in, but no. We'll ask for your passport. Sorry,
yeah,
sorry, old guys. And then we have the Exhibition and Global Chef Challenge world finals on the same stage. So
yeah,
May 2026, you got time to book, but book it early and get your hotel rooms and everything sorted. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And it's in Wales.
it's in Wales. It's
And
in
it's in
Wales.
Wales.
It's on the 16th to 19th of May 2026 in Wales. Again, Stephen, it was great to see you here online finally. It's been a while, and look forward to see
Yeah,
you somewhere in between, and if not, at the Congress for sure.
fantastic. Thanks, Ragnar.
Thank you all for listening. You're listening to Well Chef Podcast. I'm your host, Ragnar Fredriksson, and this is World on a Plate. See you next time. Take care. Bye bye.